Said I couldn't get wood, but I would if I could see you again. Please give me a chance, I'm not forgotten. I'll take a Viagra, smash you rotten. Oh Jane, it was the cocaine. Oh Jane, oh won't you look at the messages I sent you on WhatsApp and on Facebook. I'm sad and lonely, I'm going loopy, 'cause my old man, he got droopy. Oh Jane, it was the cocaine. I'm begging at your door. Oh Jane, give me some more. Oh Jane, please Jane. Oh Jane, well now it's hard. Let me show you I'll come and wave it in your front yard. Please give me a chance, I'm not forgotten. I'll take a Viagra, smash you rotten. Oh Jane, it was the cocaine. Oh Jane, it was the cocaine. Oh Jane, it was the cocaine.
I just tell stories. And people love them. It doesn't matter what you've done. It only matters what they see.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Good evening, all three of you. Hi, Tracy. Long time no see. Yeah, basically tonight we're having a conversation with filmmakers Gene Dalders and Guy Pearson about, you can't see it, The Blade Cuts Deeper. It's a Giallo style film. Now, what's Giallo? I mean, it's not, you don't put it with custard. If some of you might think that. They're going to explain to you what Giallo is in a little while, but it's going to be fun. And if we don't get many views on here, I'm going to download this and I'm going to put it on the Wigan Joker channel. But I thought, you know what, while it's a film based one, I'll try and give me other acting channels some kind of thing, some appropriate. I don't know what the fuck I'm going on about basically, but that's it. So I think, like, because we've got so many people in, without further ado, let's bring on Guy and Gene. I can't do them both at once, so I'll have to put one on at a time. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to the show that no one's talking about. Don't wait. We'll get. I'm determined. I'll download this. I'll throw it on the Wigan Joker channel, so you get both angles of things. You know what I mean? People will see this. So I'm going to start with Mr. Gene Dolders. It's kind of semi-podcast, semi-me talking bollocks thing, Gene. But we want. How did you get into film? Just take us back. You don't have to. You don't have to go back to 1980 or something. But you just what's your story with being a filmmaker?
Okay, well, to do it quickly then, not do the usual. I've always liked film. I started working as a cameraman in about the year 2000. And did that for 6 years as a freelance camera operator and editor. Then took a break for quite a while because I went to live over in Asia. Came back to England in 2016. Spent a couple of years doing some other stuff, and then decided I wanted to get back into doing like creative work again, but didn't want to do commercial and corporate stuff, which is what I'd done before. I wanted to actually do narrative filmmaking. So I started my own company, Barbie Green Digital, in 2018 with the intent of making narrative films, but started by doing corporate and commercial stuff again. And then over the years since then, I've met a group of people who kind of like-minded like me that want to do narrative filmmaking. I'm talking about cast and crew, people in front of and behind the camera. And it's just gone from there. And I've made a couple of short films since 2020, and then wanted to make a feature film. So I did. And then after the feature film was made and I was looking for some visual effects to be done in the film, that's when I was introduced through a mutual friend of ours to Guy, who's also here tonight. And that's a very quick...
This guy,
he's up here for me. Where's the camera?
He's not been from the naughty step. We're going to be talking to Guy. He's not going to be ignored in the corner like Jack Harner. Can you tell me what narrative film? Like we're taking it really, stripping it down here. What is narrative filmmaking? A lot of my audience are backward, you see. So,
well, if you look at the difference between, say, corporate, commercial, narrative. So corporate would be like, if you're making a video, like a promo video for a corporation, like something you might see on. A company might hire you to make you a promo video for their company. Then commercial stuff may be more like, something for like a TV advert, that kind of thing, to really keep it basic. And a narrative filmmaking would just be your classic, make what you traditionally see as a movie, like a movie. So like for one that obviously, I think your favorite movie is Rocky, if I'm right.
I don't mind it, to be fair. Do you know what my favorite film is now? I think I've seen it years ago, but it reminded me. The Dallas Buyers Club's probably a really good film. Have you seen the Dallas Buyers Club?
Yeah, the one with Matthew McConaughey and what's the other guy's name who doesn't age?
Jared Leto.
That's the one, yeah, that guy.
Probably under adrenochrome. But Guy, how did you get to meet lovely Jean?
We just told you.
It's only going to be one of them interviews, is it, where you belittle me just to show me up with in front of your mate? Go on, humiliate me with your in jokes. Go on, bamboozle me with your in jokes and snigger.
Sure, right. My mate John, who I've known for about 20 years, he got into sound mixing and all that kind of thing. You've met John. He just came to me one day and said, I've got these special effects that need doing for this film.
No, say what he really said. Say what he really said.
No, I'm not saying what he said. So that's how I got involved, and then I just stayed on it because I really like it. I just like what he was trying to do, because it's the kind of thing I try and do years back. Because I haven't got the fucking patience. But yeah, and that's how I got involved with Gene, and I've been riding his coattails ever since. So. Yeah, and then we've all ended up, not to jump too far ahead, but we've all ended up working together, all three of us. So
your audio's clipping now for a fucking filmmaker.
not my fault.
Is it something moving about? I can deal with it, but
Okay.
what do you want with the glow stick?
Yes.
But so right. Giallo filmmaking. I'm going to throw this over to both of you. We'll start with Guy. Could you tell us a bit about Giallo and why you're into it? Well, what draws you into that kind of genre of filmmaking?
No. Ask Gene.
What did I just say? I said I'll ask Gene first. It's not all about you. It's about Gene. You're fucking narcissist. And you're obviously not listening. Yeah. Sorry, Gene.
It's all right. So Giallo is a subgenre of movies that originated in Italy. So Giallo means yellow, and a long time ago they used to release all these crime novels that would have these yellow backgrounds, and so they took some of the earlier movies that this subgenre has been created from were taken from these types of stories. So they use the word giallo as the title of the subgenre for these movies. I mean, they're essentially quite a lot. They're basically Italian versions of kind of Agatha Christie type stories, really. You know, who done it, killer, and then you try to find out who done it. But being the Italians, it's far more operatic. And if you look at other certain filmmakers like Dario Argento, they're quite surreal. So that's the reason I like them, is because sometimes they just make no sense at all. But it doesn't matter. It's like a little ride you go on, and not like a roller coaster ride. You say sometimes people would say for an action movie, it's more a very surrealistic ride. And if it doesn't make any sense, it doesn't really matter, because the very operatic movies with like the score and the visuals that they use, and I really like the visual aesthetics of them. So that's the reason I like them. But they originated in Italy, and the kind of peak period was from about 69 to about the mid 70s. But they took a lot of their influence as well from what they called the Krimi movies, which came from Germany before them, with these black and white crime movies. So that's kind of like a brief history of what giallo is.
Is there anything to do with? I know in Mario Bava. Is it Mario Bava? I've got his name wrong.
Yeah, he's kind of. Right? I think he's seen as the person who made the very kind of the original giallo movies. He made movies like Blood and Black Lace, which become very popular. It's actually one of my favorite Mario Bava movies. But yeah, he's kind of seen as the godfather, I guess, of giallo cinema.
Right. Mr. Pearson, what draws you to giallo apart from the wages?
I like all horror films from the 70s, no matter what genre they are. 70s, 80s, just any kind of horror stuff. So that's how I got into it. But I accidentally sort of fell into it and happened to know quite a lot about it when I met Gene. But Gene's like this, so Gene knows everything about it. He knows directors and stuff.
You've bonded quite well, you two. You like the steptoe and son of film there, or Buck and her. You know what I mean? You're a dynamic duo. John Dunsey, is that John the sound man?
John Neller.
Oh, that's a different John. Hello, John Dunn. Is he
John Dunn's one of the practical special effects artists that worked on the movie.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, hi John.
Amazing.
Give my hand.
Hello.
So, did you set out? Did you want your first film to be giallo-esque, if you want to call it that? Is that what you always fancied doing first, a giallo film, as opposed to anything else? Although,
no, I didn't really. I didn't think that would be the first film I made. It's just I started writing a short film with my friend Alex. Alex co-wrote The Blade Cuts Deeper with me, and we started writing a short film, and then it just started getting longer and longer. And I thought, oh, well, I guess we'll try and make a feature film now. Oh, there's John. Hey, John. So then we thought, well, we'll just try and write a feature film now. And I thought, well, we've wrote the film. I'll see if I can make it. And I've just been a big fan of giallo or giallo cinema for a long, long time. And it's missing a lot of the tropes of a giallo, because usually a giallo movie is set across a period of either a few days or even weeks. And there's a whole investigatory aspect to the storyline. And our movie's set only over a night, so we couldn't really do that. So I've taken the kind of visual influences of a giallo, but story-wise, it's a little bit more like an American 80s slasher film.
I asked you this question at your film festival in Lee, and you belittled me. So I'll ask you again. Now, I'm only joking. Did you enjoy the actual process of putting a film together? There's no stress for you. It's like eating apple pie or something. So is that there's no stress for you of the whole thing of bringing it all together, every aspect of it?
There is stress, but it's a stress that I don't mind, because I like what I do. You know, if you go into a job every day that you don't like, then that's a stress in a different type of way. But because I like what I'm doing, yeah, it's stressful, but you know, I'm not going to complain about it, because it's self-imposed stress. Really, I have a choice not to do this, so I like what I do. So it's stressful is the answer, but at the same time, I don't mind it. It's the most stressful part of organizing a movie is the whole, especially when I was the producer on it as well, or one of the producers, is the logistics of it. It's organizing the people to be together at the same time. It's getting the locations and organizing things like the catering and stuff like that. It's little things that are more stressful than the actual shoot itself, because I'm quite confident when I go on set. I know exactly what I want, and I know I'm never going to get 100% what I want, because we were working on a very low budget. And as long as you're fine with that going in, that's okay. But it's more the logistics side of it that is stressful more than the creative side of it.
Fair play to you. Now, Mr. Pearson sat over there in the corner. You were the VFX man, and what was your other role? Catering as well. No, but was the VFX challenging?
I graded it as well. Did the colour on it.
Sorry, was the VFX challenging on this film? The job. Yeah. Would you like to expand on that? So I can. Would you have to expand on me and fucking help me out doing this interview? So that'll be like it's difficult. Yeah, they were good. Yeah, like Marquis, it's like interviewing Marquis Smith from the Foul.
This is my favorite interview so far now.
You know, but it's fun, isn't it? You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, so I have to ask you two, what are you what we're talking about? I just like films I like. I can't fucking categorize what happened in 1920 and who fucking did what. And I don't know about these things, but I'm just talking to you. So was it a labor of love to do VFX on this film? Could you explain what VFX are for the lovely people, the 8 people watching this shit now? Could you explain for the 8 people watching this shit what VFX is?
Visual effect. Well, what I did on the film was initially it was to fix some things that were showing that shouldn't. Well, some scenes and things that were showing that they didn't really want showing up in the film. And I'm trying not to spoil the film. And then it just sort of grew from there, and we carried on going through things. And it's like, can you fix this sign up here? Can you maybe change that? There is that part of the film, one kill in the film, which is like infamous now, that wasn't supposed to have any special effects in it at all. And I just made work for myself on that one because I offered to fiddle with it, and it's ended up pretty damn good. But yeah, there's loads of effects in it. As I can't remember the number now. It's in the hundreds, and they go from full on blood and guts sort of thing to removing a sign on the wall or removing a hole in the wall because there's a hole in the wall for no reason, and license plates and stuff like that. Changing our license plates. And all the TVs as well. I had to turn all the TVs on because none of them were on.
So where did you go? Sorry, I spoke over you. That's bad interviewing. How did you get into VFX?
I made a film on my own years ago, like 15 years. No, Christ, longer than that. Like a 33-day shoot, and I made it on my own with a couple of actors. Well, quite a few actors, but I was the crew, and I just learned how to do the special effects for that because it had like 200 effect shots in it that needed doing for people flying around and all kinds of strange shit. And while I was doing that, I met some other people who wanted to help me out on my film. They didn't, but they wanted to. And I ended up helping them out with visual effects for their films. And then that went into a festival. And then other people from that festival started finding me. And it just snowballed from there. And now I've done like 90 odd films, visual effects. I never even wanted to do visual effects, but that's how it happened.
Are you self-taught at VFX?
Pretty much.
And yeah. Gene, are you self-taught filmmaking?
Yeah. I went to college to do media studies, but that's not really. They don't really teach you filmmaking there.
Yeah, I did that as well,
yeah. It's I think pretty much. Yeah, I'm all completely self-taught. Most. I mean, I've worked on other people's sets, so you pick up things along the way, and obviously you want to watch people and see what they're doing. But yeah, mostly self-taught, and I think it's a love of movies, and it's not that you can just make movies simply because it's not that you can do anything simply because you love it. But if you love it enough and you're interested in finding things out about it and reading about it and watching, I tell you what helps me a lot, and I'm sure Guy agrees with this as well. We have a tendency to watch a lot of making ofs and special features on movies, and you pick up little tidbits of information that are really useful if you listen carefully to what people are saying, and they can help you on future shoots, when you're doing something yourself.
Yeah, really old commentaries are the best. Really old ones, because they're very, very honest, and they tell you stuff that they wouldn't let you say now. So they're really helpful.
I think a lot of filmmakers I know are self-taught, and it is something in it that you can only learn by practicing it. And I think I went to music college briefly, and I can't say for film college, but I found all the tutors were really fucking bitter. They go like, "That Bob Dylan, he's shit. The Sex Pistols, they were shit. They couldn't play." Did you find a lot of the tutors would probably be like that at college, where they're just kind of embittered and just taking a fucking wage? But like I said, most of the filmmakers I know, you go out with your camera and you fuck about with it, and you fuck about some more, and eventually you get to a level of, oh right, I know what I'm doing here. But the art thing, it's a constant journey. Every day is a school day, isn't it? It's a constant learning process from the actors learning, and everybody's learning, aren't they, and growing all the time. And do you know what?
Sorry.
No, you are. And yeah, you just throw me then. You don't get some fucking Parkinson, do you? And also, when the film's finished now, yeah, Gene, so oh my God. Are you 100%, like they say, great painting's never finished? I've asked him this and I just get waffled. Are you happy with the film? Do you know when you sometimes sit back and being a creative going, you know what, are you 100% happy with your product?
No, I've never been like that. Never been that type of person that will work on something for years and years and years. It's like I'm not a lot of people think like someone like Stanley Kubrick, who was supposedly a perfectionist, or what's his name, David Fincher, something like that. I don't understand it. I don't think art, and filmmaking obviously being an art form, I don't think art should be perfect. It's a reflection of life. Even if the story in a movie is completely ridiculous, it's still a reflection of life, and life isn't perfect itself. So why would you want to obsess over a movie being perfect? I just want to tell the story, and then in a certain way. And yeah, there are things in the movie probably I'd do differently, but you just have to accept that, especially when you're on a low budget. And it was mostly stuff that we weren't able to do on set simply because we didn't have the time, because money buys you time when you're filming a movie. So no, I don't care about it being perfect. I'm very happy with what we've achieved. And I went into this thinking, well, if I can get 50% of what I want on the budget we're making, I'll be happy. But I feel like I'm closer to put numbers in it. I feel like I'm closer to I got like 75 or 80%. So I'm very happy with what I got, and not only with what I got, but what, all the work that people in front of and behind the camera did, for such a low budget. I'm really proud of what everyone's done in this movie.
So that's quite a relaxed attitude. So you don't stress out. You wasn't stressed about it when you saw it, the final product. You think, oh, I should have done that, and you quite relaxed and philosophical. Thing, I'll get it right next time. If there's any bits, niggles.
I wasn't stressed, no. I mean, I think maybe if I'd done this 20 years ago when I was in my 20s, I might have had a different attitude. But as I've got older, I seem to have relaxed a lot more anyway. But I don't think I've ever really been that type of person. I've done something. It's mostly what I wanted to do. Again, it'll never be perfect, or I don't really need it to be anyway. And it's done now. I mean, there are things that Guy and I could change in the movie, but you could just keep going. What's the point in just doing that? You obsess about one thing. You need to move on to the next thing at some point.
A great painting is never finished, as they say. But you know what? How's this national film nomination come about?
Don't know. Nobody knows. I woke up one day with an email saying, "Oh, your movie's been nominated for a national film award," and I was like, "Okay." I thought it was a spam email. So I went and checked it out, and then went on all the socials and found out it was actually real. And then I contacted everyone from the production to find out, because someone has to nominate you for it, and none of us have done it. So somebody somewhere has nominated us for it, which is very kind of them. So thank you. And I've no idea who it is, and I don't know. But yeah, it's cool. I'm going to go to the awards ceremony, which is on July 2nd, and sit in the crowd and boo whoever wins for that nomination.
Are you going to be like schmoozing with all the celebrities and the people, and just are you a networker, or are you just going for the chicken legs?
I'm going for the alcohol, I guess now. To have chicken legs, that'll be even better. No, I don't know. I don't know who's going to turn up. I don't really know much about the National Film Awards. I know there are so many online award ceremonies and online award bodies that you come across, and they're not that they're not legitimate, you know, that they're giving an award away, but a lot of the times they don't really mean anything other than, you know, to maybe the person who's getting the award. But this one seems a little bit higher than that, so it's exciting to be nominated for it. But I've no idea who's submitted the movie for us, but they have, which is very nice of them. And I'll try my best while I'm there to do some networking. But this is not the type of event that I usually go to. I just want to make things. I'm not the type of person who goes and networks, but not that I'm bad at it. It's just not something I'm really into. But I'm going to try my best at this one.
I think it's a big part of this acting and this whole world. It's not what you know, it's who you know, isn't it, kind of thing. And what's your thoughts on that guy? I don't want you to be quiet up there.
All right. My thoughts are, I think it's on the awards. I think that it's just good to have that sort of spotlight on you because it gets the film noticed. It's not a bad thing at all. I don't see it as useless. I wouldn't go to it, but that's me.
You won't get it.
I know how much the tickets cost.
Yeah, they're expensive. Yeah, that's a bit of a mad thing as well. It's you know, I never knew this before, but a lot of these award ceremonies you go to, you actually have to pay for the ticket to attend an award ceremony that you're nominated for, which I find very bizarre. But apparently, it's just a normal thing that you have to do. It's very strange, and the tickets are not cheap.
So Tom Hardy and all them will have to pay for a ticket as well, or all them people as well. Everybody has to pay for a ticket, basically.
Well, I would imagine that someone like Tom Hardy, if he does turn up, I'm doubtful that he will to this, but let's say he does, I imagine that whatever he's nominated for, the distribution company or the production company that have done that production would probably be paying for his ticket. I'm sure he wouldn't be paying for his own ticket.
Will you be doing the red carpet?
Yeah, that's a part of it. You do the red carpet, and then there's a wine tasting before the ceremony. Apparently, I got the whole schedule. Do you want me to read the schedule out to you? I'll tell you. It's right in front of me. I can pull it up.
It buys me time, so read a fucking Bible if you want.
I'll read you the schedule for it. They sent me an email. I think it was yesterday for the schedule. Where is it? It's here in the emails. Let's see. It is 6:30 is the red carpet VIP arrival. 7 o'clock pre-event wine reception. 8 o'clock award show commences. Then it's got the times for each award. Then the award ceremony ends around 10:30, 11 o'clock. And then there's the after party, which I get to go to as well, which I think starts around 11 till about, I think it goes on till about 2 o'clock in the morning. I think something like that.
And then that's when the blood sacrifices take place.
That's when the children are brought into the room and we are forced to sacrifice them in front of an altar. Yes.
Well, that will make the wheat from the chaff. Whether you'll get the big film deal or not is kind of decided on that kind of thing, really. But
I thought I'd take my own knife for it, so just look eager.
Fair play to you. I'll make the show less dark anyway. I have experience on a red carpet. I don't know if you ever told you this. People will know who watch my channel, but I was on a reality TV show with Kimberly Stewart, the Rod Stewart's daughter, years ago. And you know what? I ended up on a red carpet with her, and it was quite horrific. There was walls of light, flashing light going off, and a paparazzi was screaming at me, "Get away from her!" I was devaluing by me standing next to Kimberly Stewart. I was devaluing the photos, and they were screaming at me, "Get the fuck away from her!" But it was like daunting of all of that. So you've got just remember it's very daunting, but it's an experience kind of thing. You know what I mean? So
I look forward to being screamed at. That's going to be great.
You always take a placard, like stop oil or something. You know what I mean? It's just an idea. But will this award nomination even, will it put a lot of eyes on the film and will it elevate you slightly more than anybody who's not got it? Just might be a stupid question. Well,
no, I mean, it's potentially, I guess. I mean, it's supposedly being covered by some media outlets. So I mean, it won't be live, I don't think, on anything, but apparently broadcasters like the BBC and is it E! Entertainment, some American ones are going to be there, and there's a whole list of them somewhere. They did send me, but I can't remember where it is now. So potentially, yeah, it could bring some eyes on it. I mean, even if it doesn't win anything, it's still good. It's some kind of publicity for the movie. And again, like you mentioned before, there's a possibility to network there, so that makes it better as well. So yeah, it could potentially bring more eyes on the film and give it a bigger scope for people to realize that it simply exists, because that's the main challenge at the moment, especially with a small independent movie, because we spent all the money on the actual production. We've got no money left over now to do any kind of marketing. So I'm lucky that so far we've had the opportunity to screen the movie in some places, and there are still 3 more screenings at the moment coming up, and we're trying to work on a couple more in London now to see if we can get some down there. But anything that exposes people to the fact that this movie simply exists is better than nothing.
What I've learned from Guy and other filmmakers is a lot of these film festivals, not every film festival is worth it. You see a lot of actors on Instagram and all that, and they say, we've just won the Wiltshire fucking best actor, or or somebody like you. I've just won the Ugandan film festival for best soundtrack, naming no names, and all that. And so a lot of it is just faff to impress people on social media, but doesn't really kind of mean anything. But something like this is more prestigious, isn't it?
I'm hoping so. I mean, I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, I've looked at some of the older award shows that they've had over the years, and it does seem quite big. Obviously, they have a lot of people there covering it for press, so potentially, yeah. And hopefully, if it does get some coverage in some kind of major media outlets, then yeah, something could go from there. I mean, I never went into making this movie thinking that this movie was going to make a lot of money, but what I went into it thinking is, well, at least the movie will show, even at the level it's on, that everyone who's worked on it, myself and Guy and everyone in front and behind the camera, are extremely capable of producing something good at this level. So imagine what we could do if you gave us an actual real budget. We could create something a lot better. So it proves the skills that we have, and shows that we could make something very good if we have a bigger budget, because you do need quite a lot of money, obviously, to make a movie. Just again, like I said earlier, having more money just buys you more time on set for filming, and the more time you have for filming, the more things you can do and make your production essentially look bigger and better.
So have you got your team now? You two, all the people, your crew. I mean, Paul and John, Ringo as well. But anyway, basically, all your crew now. You're just going to keep the crew, and just keep whatever you make. You're going to use the same crew. Is that going to be your way forward?
That's my plan. Yeah. Because I mean, everybody's extremely capable at their skill set, and also but the most important thing to me is that I like everyone. So I would rather work with people that I like than obviously people that I don't like. And you see a lot of people that go and work on lots of different projects and with different crews, and then sometimes they just don't get on because there's no history between them. But I know everyone now, and we all. Yeah. The great thing is as well, we all have similar interests in the movies that we like. I mean, obviously there are some things that we like, others don't, but we all have a common interest in certain things. So when I'm on set or talking to people, there's things that we can relate to that we all like, and I can say, I want this bit to be like this, and then there's a commonality there that we can all think of to help us kind of get. It sounds pretentious, the vision.
No, it's right though, isn't it? Kind of thing.
Towards the end result.
Sorry, you broke up then, but I got the gist of what you were saying. But Guy, so you two, a film coming out called Gagged. I don't want to leave you out. You've got a film called Gagged, what's coming out soon, isn't it?
Yeah, short film.
Gene worked on that with you.
He did. He was the cinematographer and many other things, to be quite honest. Yeah, Gagged. It's a short film written by Nick Vaughan about a heckler and a comedian that get into it. That's about it. But yeah, we shot it like last year in November, December in Cardiff, and it's literally as of today finished, and that should be doing festivals and stuff later. It was good. It was fun. It was weird because I'd never worked with Gene before in that sort of respect, and I didn't even know if I knew what I was doing anymore. It was really weird, and I'm glad he was there because he wasn't. I was fucked. But yeah, so we got a nice film out of it, and then after that, I don't know if you want me to mention this. I made a film called Nappy, starring Jimmy Wingard and. Lawrence Harvey.
It's look. This is not about me. This is you and Gene's time. But yeah, we've done a film called Nappy with Lawrence Harvey. It's the most surreal, weird thing I've ever done. I can't speak for you two, but it was.
You wrote it.
Well, yeah, I wrote it, and it's once again that as I've got older, my mental illness has increased, and it's just been kind of like, yeah, I'll shut the fuck up. Yeah, well, you've got Gag coming out. How was it being a director this time round? Was it stressful, and was you more relaxed being a DOP than a director, Gene? On when you work on as a DOP and a cinematographer, is it more chilled, or is it just as responsible?
I think it's just the same for me. I want to have fun when I'm filming stuff because I'm really happy to be doing it because it's something I've always wanted to do. But at the same time, obviously, you got to take it seriously because you've got a certain amount of time to do something. I'd say being a director of photography is more difficult because when you're directing, you have almost total control over everything that's going on because people are there to facilitate what you want the end results look like. But as a director photographer, you're there then to facilitate someone else's vision again, which was Guy this time. So, but luckily, you know, Guy and I have similar tastes and things. And I knew what he wanted to go for. And we had a long drive down there, and we had conversations beforehand, and we also had conversations at nighttime at the end of every day of filming. So it's easy. Again, it's easier when you get on with the people that you work with.
Yeah, the shooting of that, I don't think it's going to sound like a dick sucking contest, this, but I don't think if Gene wasn't there, I would have really struggled a lot more. I struggled anyway, but I would have struggled even more because he absolutely gets what's up here, and he's behind the camera, so it really helps. So there's a lot that goes unsaid because I know that he'll say something before I've even sort of like told him that I want it. So that really works, and he was good on that gag. If he wasn't there, I'd have completely fucked it up. So yeah, and the nappy thing that just went along. Nappy was really, really weird. I could think about this after we shot it. I hardly did anything, and I hardly said anything, and it was because everybody was doing and saying everything that I wanted them to do before I even said it. Even Lawrence, there were little things I wanted him to do in the film specifically, and I was going to give him pointers, and he was already doing it in front of the camera. It was weird, but it's some kind of, I don't know, something in the air.
Well, I think that's the benefit again of working with people that you know and you have similar interests with. You know, that's the good thing. That's why over the years I've spent a bit of time trying to collect a crew together that I like. You might end up, and probably will end up, working more with different people in front of the camera. But if you're behind the camera with the crew wise, you want to work with the same people and over again, because you will end up spending more time with certain people. Like I spent a lot of time working on post-production with Guy because of all the visual effects that were taking place, and I spent a lot of time with John, who did all the sound, because there's the sound mix, and then we had to go into a studio to do the final mix, and a lot of time with Alex, who wrote the music for it. So sometimes you end up spending a lot more time with the crew than you do with actually the cast in the movie.
I want to give a shout out to John Holton for the soundtrack of Nappy too. So apparently he's done a very good job. I've not heard it yet. But going back to cinematography, I mean, since I've hung about with filmmakers and things, I view films in kind of a different way than somebody who just sit there and watch them. And I don't know if you agree with me on this, both of you, but a lot of films now don't look that well shot. And a lot of the films, would you disagree with me? A lot of the films that, when you go in the fire stick and you're trying to find something new, and okay, it's me, isn't it? I'm not a Ponziati filmmaker like you two. I don't know, but a lot of things don't look well shot now. Am I wrong in saying that?
You're not wrong at all. No,
they just don't look good visually.
No, a lot of it is rushed. A lot of it is like a lot of these fucking things that come out these days is get your digital camera out, flatten it out, get it balanced, like get the fucking exposure right, and just shoot it. We'll sort it out later if there's something wrong. And then when you get to, if you don't shoot it right, you don't light it right, and all the rest of it, all these films these days, there's no depth to them. at all. And, I mean, that's what you're saying, isn't it, Jimmy? It's like
they don't visually grab you. And some of the films you put on, I've become weird me now. I mean, if a film's graded in a certain way, I'll turn it off. You know what I mean? Because some films you put on, they look like a fucking, you know, they look like one of them 80s TV movies. You know what I mean? How it was graded. Oh, for fuck's sake, turn that off. I just can't. It might have been a brilliant film, but how it looks kind of thing really kind of has an impact. But do you think now we're living this TikTok age and this social media age that the bar has been dropped, and because people are used to watching just crap on a phone,
yes.
a lot of films now have become, to all intents and purposes, content rather than an actual kind of piece of art.
Yeah,
that's one of the taglines for Blade, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, yeah. To go to what Guy was saying, it's rushed, and I think my main problem with a lot of movies nowadays is that, especially with horror movies, they're overlit. You look at a lot of older horror movies. There are a lot of big scenes in there, and scenes that build suspense simply because they're very dark in the areas they're meant to be dark. But now you watch a lot of movies, and this is especially the case with Netflix horror movies. They're all really bright. And there's no real dark spaces, and there's no way for them to create suspense within a horror movie when everything is lit and you can see every part of the frame that's on screen. So, but that again goes with, you know, rushing stuff and just like Guy said, just getting the camera set up, getting the light set up, doing the exposure, and then just getting on with it. Sorry, excuse me.
It's funny, Dave, a filmmaker I know, Dave Ellison, said exactly the same thing about the horror films are overlit now. And when you watch a lot of the modern horror films, it's like a template, isn't it? They all look the same, don't they, kind of thing? It's supposed to lit the same, they're graded the same, and it's just like a factory setting for a horror film. And you go and watch them, it's just kind of like, you know.
One of the other big problems as well is that I think, and Guys luckily fixed this for me and done a really good job with the grading, is that if you watch a lot of films, and if you compare it to something like Blade and Gagged, which I've seen some screenshots of, and also Nappy, skin tones on films nowadays are very strange. They're very, you know, look like something you shot on your home digital camera. If you look at older movies, the skin tones are very rich, and you can see the different tones in people's skins, and you don't seem to see that very often now. But Guy's done a really good job in Blade. When someone's got quite a big close up on the screen, you can see like the actual skin tone that they should have, and it looks really nice. And small things like that matter to us, but don't matter, unfortunately, to the regular viewer, which is fine. You know, most people are watching movies just to watch a movie and be taken away from reality for an hour and a half, 2 hours, and that's fine. But for people who appreciate that, I guess, watching the movie, all those little things make a lot of difference.
Yeah,
Actually, go on.
Sorry.
No, go on.
They train these days to crush it out. There's a what they call skin tone line when you're doing color. Like on a scope, there's a skin tone line, and these days most people try and push it right down to that skin tone, so everyone starts looking really flat. So they've only got one tone to the face, whereas you've got to let it breathe, because that's how film works. So that's how it comes out. I'm being overly technical now, but that's like on a scope. If you looked at a lot of modern films now, you will see it like dead on the skin tone. And everybody in the film will have the same skin tone, even though they didn't in real life. And you feel it, even though you don't know it's happening. You can feel it. And there's no grit to anything anymore. Plus, they fill them in as well, though. You know,
yeah, that's another good point as well. That, like, a lot of movies. I mean, I know we shoot digital now, but even digital, you can still have like texture. Like film had texture when you would watch it, in the way that the color process was done in post afterwards as well. But a lot of it's like Guy says, it's all flat now. There's no real texture to something when you're watching it on your screens.
Yeah, I'm not saying all modern films are shit, but a lot of these ones that keep coming out, these sort of like, you know, every week on Prime and Netflix, they all look the same. They're shitty looking. They look like old, like Jimmy said, they look like TV shows.
Do you think this is do you think they'll ever get back to a kind of a more raw style of filmmaking, a more picturesque style of filmmaking? Do you think it's cyclic, or it's just this is it now? The precedent's been set, and it's just a factory setting of just ship them out kind of thing. That's what we use. Them are the colours, them are the skin tones, whatever. or do you think it needs just like some independent filmmakers to come forward and smash it with something, and then
No, I think we've done there's a lot of independent filmmakers who do that anyway, but they're few and far between. And I think we've got to a point where it's been so long now with all this digital crap that, not that I hate digital, but all this digital stuff, that a lot of people they're even getting kind of what's the word? Oh bollocks, I don't know. But people looking back now and saying, "Oh, I miss those films that are all fucking green and orange," because like Transformers and stuff like that, because they're 20 years old. So nostalgic was the word I was looking for. So there's like people now are like getting nostalgic for this kind of tan and teal look, where everything's like green and orange and all the rest of it. And it's actually coming round now where it's like, hey, I've gone for the old-fashioned look from the 2000s. So basically, we're all three old fucks.
Okay then. So, is there any modern horror films that caught your eye and thought, "Oh, that's interesting"? Or do you think that a lot of them are just like fucking? I went watching Final Destination, the last one. I don't know why. I was bored with Tracy. That what I mean. Let's go and just bored. Let's go bored.
I watched one recently which I really liked, and I recommended it to Guy. I don't know if he's watched it yet, but it's a movie from New Zealand called The Rule of Jenny Penn. And the only reason I watched it originally is because John Lithgow's in it, and I'm a big fan of John Lithgow, the actor. Yeah. But that's a really good film, and it is shot really well. The whole thing is a very interesting movie, and it's just got Jeffrey Rush and John Lithgow in it, two great actors just working, like feeding off each other throughout the whole film. That was really good. But no, there are not a lot of modern films that I watched. I think they look great. No, unfortunately not. There are movies you go and see. That's the problem though as well, is that there are movies you can go and watch and you see them on the cinema. Like for example, I went to see a movie called The Monkey, which whether you like the movie or not, I saw it in the cinema and it looked great. But then I imagine when you watch it at home, it probably didn't look as good. And I'm sure Guy would talk about this more than me, but there's all the different aspects you have to take into consideration and how different things translate onto different screens because of the different processes you have to go through.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
So, I was going to say something controversial at one of the cast of The Monkey, so I'm sorry if I'm just going a bit. I'm trying to behave myself in this sphere. I'm recalibrating. So, I was going to say moving forward, then like some wanker businessman. What's the next projects that you've got lined up apart from Gagged and Nappy? Have you two got any other film kind of things in mind? Or are you still in the process of selling Blade?
I've got a shoot coming up in less than 2 weeks now. I've been working on a feature film with some people from down south. It's a horror anthology movie, so it's a bunch of short films that'll be put together to make one long feature film, with a wraparound segment, which is kind of like a story at the beginning. Then there'll be a bunch of short films, and it finishes the story at the end that started at the beginning. And they've asked me, I've been the cinematographer on the whole thing, but they've asked me to direct one. So I'm shooting that in a couple of weeks, and Lawrence is going to be in that with my friend James, James Podmore, who's been in everything that I've ever directed because he's a fantastic actor. And he's also in Gagged, that Guy directed as well. He's an amazing actor from Liverpool. And I've got a couple of scripts I'm writing at the moment, and I'm meant to be cinematographer on a feature film that's starting at the end of June, going into July in Liverpool. So, but that's the only, and I've got some other short films coming up for some other people, but I'm mostly concentrating on just trying to get Blade Cuts Deeper out there, get more publicity for it, get people to know about it, so that I can then springboard, I guess, off that to make my next film. Because I like working on films with my friends, but it's not something I'm going to continue doing in the future. I don't want to be a cinematographer. I want to be a director. But if it comes to people like Guy and James, if they ask me to come and work on their stuff as a cinematographer, I'm more than happy to do it because I like working with them.
I saw a clip of James Podmore in Gagged, and I do actually think he is an exceptional actor. You know, I believe he's not a stand-up, but he portrayed it so well that you could actually, it was convincing as someone who was a stand-up, you know, someone who's done it for quite a while, kind of thing. But yeah, he looks a fantastic actor.
Oh,
So-
James is a great actor. I mean, he can just, I mean, yeah, he can play. I would imagine he can play pretty much any role, and I'll continue to put James in everything that I make, just from whether it's a big role or a small role. And actually, I would, not that we get into this, but I just want to say it anyway. I always think, in my opinion, that the side characters, the supporting characters in a movie should always be more interesting than the main character. Because if your main character has all these quirks all the way through, I think personally you get bored of it after a while. So I think your main character needs to be interesting, but they're there to serve the story. But if you've got a bunch of interesting supporting actors, like not the actors themselves, I mean like the supporting characters around them, that makes a movie better. And that James is always really good for that. But I would like to give James a feature role in a movie as well, because I know that he's extremely capable, and I can't say enough good things about James and or Lawrence. I've worked with Lawrence kind of twice now, and I'm going to work with him again in June, and he's a pleasure to work with because his knowledge of movies is fantastic. Talking to Lawrence about films is great.
Will he be wearing a nappy?
He won't be, no. It'll be too cold to wear a nappy.
He likes it. He does. I don't think he minds the cold. Hello, Lawrence. I'm only joking, kind of thing. But will you be doing a Tarantino and taking the same crew with you? The same film, same actors.
I'd be more than happy to use the same actors all the time. It wouldn't bother me. I mean, the benefit I think of being a director is that, or a lot of directors, they don't work as much as actors because of the time it takes to make a film in pre-production, filming it in the post-production. So on average, if you look at a lot of directors, they make a film or they release a film every 3 to 4 years. But if you look at an actor might be in 3 or 4 or even up to 10 movies in 1 year, especially if you're Nicolas Cage, obviously. So
it's get about 300 out
in a day. but so there's a big difference.
But I was to remind people, if you could vote for The Blade Cuts Deeper, the link is below this stream thing. All you have to do is register with the National Film Academy. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. And just click a few things. And it would really help independent films. It'll help Guy keep him in chicken and denim jackets. And it'll help Gene keep him in vape pens and stuff and heroin. I'm only joking. He doesn't vape. But this is... I've really enjoyed. I'm not fucking you off. You can stay and talk to me if you want, because I'm kind of lonely. No one ever speaks to me, but I've really enjoyed speaking to you both, and I hope it's not been too much of an excruciating experience for you.
No, it's fun. I've just been sat here watching. It's been nice.
Yeah, actually, I've got this interview up on another screen, just watching the delay every so often.
I've tried to include you, Guy. I've not been ignorant.
It's okay. I do this on all of them. I just end up watching it. Like I forget I'm on it. You were saying a minute ago about what you're doing and stuff. If things work out, Gag will probably end up being feature film, and I could only assume that the Nico who's producing it would want everybody. I'm talking specifically about the cast. Would want James back and stuff like that, and I also am developing a short film called Homebody that Nico wants to produce again, and that's going to have Jay in it as well. It's about a bloke who shits out of organ and becomes its friend for a week, and then
like a keyboard. It shits out a keyboard.
An organ, like a body organ.
Oh right, I thought you meant like a fucking church organ.
No, that's probably a better idea. But yeah, so we've got that, and then I've still, one of your former guests, not on this channel, on the other channel, Jacob, is still fiddling around trying to get Spot of Bother made within, and then because I keep moving people around from project to project, so yeah, and then me and Gene want to make something with you and Lawrence and a bathtub full of beans.
Oh yeah, I've got. You know what? I think I've started expanding that in my head. I've got so many scenes. I've got a great idea for a scene for the opening of a grand business.
I think I'm trying to rack my brains for something that's like nappy, but I just think it was a standalone like moment of culmination of I don't know what. It just kind of it was one of them things. But Gene, can I buy a Blade Cuts Deeper T-shirt off you? Have you got any T-shirts?
Not the ones that you've probably seen people wearing, because they're not for sale, those ones, because it's the deal we have with the guy who did the design, that I can use all the images that he created just for promotional use. But I might end up getting T-shirts made for the the poster that you can see behind me. My hand's disappearing for some reason.
I think you should really get some T-shirts.
I've got these close to hand. I've got these. Let me. Can't see it. It
looked like you went
it out.
It looked like you went into the future then. Oh, yeah, do a bit of like your QVC. What merchandise can people who like the film buy?
Well, currently, when we're doing the screenings, I've got the quad poster, which is the one you see behind me. So, and then also the VHS tapes, which we don't have many of right now, but we're only selling them at the screenings. The VHS has an introduction from Lawrence as well in it, which will only ever be on the VHS. So it's a unique thing just for the VHS tapes that we've created. But that's it. I mean, it's not my plan to make a load of merchandise. That's just something I was doing more for fun, because I'm the type of person that would collect this stuff. So I know there's other kind of horror nerds out there that would also like this stuff as well. It's not like I'm going to open the shop and have thousands of copies of the VHS tape and thousands of copies of the posters to buy. I don't have the budget to produce all that stuff, because it's not just the money, but it's the time that it takes. And Guy knows this better than me of producing the VHS tapes, because obviously it's not like digital stuff nowadays where you can just burn something quickly. You actually have to wait the length of the VHS tape to record the movie onto. So you might only get 4 or 5 versions of the movies on 4 or 5 tapes in one day.
Were you not doing any like Guy Pearson action figures like with a complete with the light up microphone stand? Looks like a fucking lollipop.
That would be Guy having. That'd be Guy having someone in a headlock.
I keep thinking you could put a fucking ice cream van with that fucking thing you're holding.
Shut up, you dick. I can't turn it off. I don't know how to turn it off.
It's like B&M Bargains' his finest product. I'm sure it's not. I'm sure it's really expensive, like, you know what I mean?
No, it's not. It's about 12 quid.
Have you anything you'd like to say about denial, knowledge of this live stream, or what? Have you anything you'd like to say before we kind of? I think it's reached its natural conclusion. I hope I've covered every base. If not, I apologise.
Anything you'd like to say about the film? Or
life in general? Have you paid your tax?
Nah, go to well, keep your eye out for not you, Jimmy, obviously, everybody else, all the 4 people watching this.
14 people. We've got 14 people watching this shit.
Oh,
hey, that's better than some of the screenings we had for the movie.
It is. Keep your eye out for Nappy, because there's going to be an influx of things happening soon. So that'll be good, because Jimmy's in it and it's good. It's really fun.
Sorry, go on, Gene.
No, I was just gonna say I'm really looking forward to watching the final cut of that, because the only bits I've seen of that is the trailer you cut together that we played before the Blade Cuts Deeper one day when we showed it at Lee Film Factory. So I'm looking forward to seeing the finished movie, because
that was put together literally an hour before, so it was just all doesn't cover or anything. So.
I'm frightened to see my performances. To be honest with you, I hope we can nitpick some of the VFX and AI and shit.
It's really funny. Anyway,
look at for Nappy, look at for Gagged, a film called Gagged. But these films are going to the festival. They're not going out there yet. They're going to like.
They're going to be in festivals, but the way these things go these days, and it's too much hard work for doing a festival thing for a year and then putting a thing out. The best way to go these days is to get it into a good festival, have it there. When that's happened, put it on the internet, but carry on with the festival run while it's on the internet. One of my films is still doing festivals, and it's been on the internet for over a year. So
go on, talk about that. You talk about your film extension. Tell us a bit about that.
Oh right. That's a film I made for a laugh in a day. It cost nothing, and I lost it all. I lost all of the footage because the hard drive got it got the power surge or something. It just got fried. So I had to go and get it from the YouTube. I'd sent rushes of it to friends on private YouTube, so I had like different bits, shitty bits of it. So I had to go and get it, re-edited it, and then this visual effects and stuff, redo an ending, and then I just buried it. And then one day somebody saw it and said, "Why don't you send it to a festival? That'd be funny, wouldn't it?" And it's like, yeah. So I sent it to the Bolton Film Festival for a laugh because it's very, very Bolton-y, set in Bolton, and it got in, and it was on like the biggest bloody screen I've still seen in frigging live bar and IMAX at the Bolton Cinema. And then it got into another festival, another one, and then it was playing at the Wigan and Lee creative film, whatever it was, last week twice, and now it's just been long listed for centre frame. What I don't even know what that is, but yeah, and that's quite a big deal apparently. So things live on, because that film is now literally about 10 years old. So, and the guy who's in it has never even seen it. Yeah, so that's extension, and like I say, with Nappy and Gag, well, not Gag because that's out of my hands, but with Nappy, I think festival hit the biggest one you can, and then put it online, but then carry on with the festival so people can see it at the cinema, and then go and do all the Q&As and all that because they're always fun.
Could we get Nappy in the national film? No, Gene's got his foot in it. Could we get Nappy in the National Film Academy?
No, it's a short film.
No, but I do promise, Jimmy, if Tom Hardy is there, I'm going to get him on board with Nappy.
Please, either Tom Hardy and just tell him about Nappy. Tell him Lawrence Harvey from Human Centipede's in it, and I just want you. That's your mission. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to mind the people about it. But any day, ignore that. This is your time, Gene. Go there, have all the volleyball you fucking paid from. Enjoy your evening, and just you're gonna go have a great night. He's going to see how the other half live. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's it. I mean, well, the thing is, though, I mean, I think I should pitch to Tom Hardy on everyone's behalf the feature film version of Nappy.
The Nappy. How about an amalgamation of the Nappy Cuts Deeper?
That's a trailer in the making, isn't it?
A Jallo-esque film fusion of bollocks and Jallo and stuff. And
well, yeah. I think we can get all the people back for that. Who were in Nappy. It makes sense that they would be in it. The Nappy Cuts Deeper. I'm up for doing it. So if you can write the script, we get into production.
Yeah, just write it. Gene will make it.
I'm game, but please, everybody, if you could, click the link below and please vote for the Blade Cuts Deeper. Let's support local independent film. The fact that this film has got is rubbing shoulders with massive multi-million-pound productions is quite astronomical. Would you say, for want of a better word?
It's certainly a surprise. It really is a surprise. I don't think we'll ever find out exactly who submitted it for us, but it's certainly a surprise that it has been kind of standing alongside these other movies. I can only imagine, if I'm being honest, I keep thinking, not that I think about it a lot, but I thought about it a bit, that the movie is simply there as filler, and they already know who's going to win, but they need some other movies kind of in the list, for them to go against. But you never know. If we can get enough people to vote, it is actually done mostly by a public vote, I think. So if enough people do vote for it, we do actually have a chance of winning.
But having said that, even to be used as filler, if that was the worst case scenario, it's still put a lot of eyes and attention on you, on the film and it kind of thing. And all the film, they could have picked fucking anything, couldn't they, from a filmmaker or something who's like independent and just thrown that in, like
Like I said to Gene, with the utmost of respect, I'd heard of all the other films, but nobody's heard of Blade Cuts Deeper. It's just weird. Nobody's seen it. It's just odd. I'd love to know who put it in. Because they have to have seen it, don't they? To have put it into the festival.
I mean, I would guess so. I mean, yeah. Unless someone was drunk one night and they just did it as a joke, because they were picking random movies to submit to this. But I always wonder as well, the people that you submit to, do they have to watch the movie to agree to it to be put up, or does I've no idea. And if they do have to watch it, how did they get it? Because they don't have access unless maybe I've given them access, unless somebody else has given them access. I have no idea. But either way, it's a good thing, and it's nice to have, and it's a nice event to go to, and it'll be an experience, and it should be good exposure for the movie. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sure they have to watch it because it could be like an hour of people sticking action men up their asses or something, so they couldn't really go more like that, which is probably my next sketch I'm writing. Crappy, but gentlemen, it's been a real delight to speak to you both. If you want to hang around for 5 minutes after the stream goes off live, you can do, unless you're busy.
Yeah, I'm here all night if you want.
Me too.
Thank you very much, everybody. Please don't forget, click the link below to the National Film Awards and vote for The Blade Cuts Deeper. What am I doing that for? Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, and thank you, gentlemen, and good luck with everything, Gene, and keep taking the tablets, Guy. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Bye-bye.